Welcome to month 8 of my journey on Substack to grow to $96,000 a year. This is this month's update, which is a little late because I was busy eating all of the bagels in Los Angeles. And when I mean all of the bagels, I mean all of them. This is the garlic stuffed bagel at Calic Bagels in K-Town. Chef's kiss, it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with this bagel. So I was in Los Angeles most recently with my partner Kyle. We went to the Magic Castle. We ate a bunch of bagels. It was really fun, really great short trip in Los Angeles. I'm currently working remotely in Southern California. I'm about to head to South Korea and I'm really excited. So excited to bring you guys along with that journey. But I'm gonna start and dive right into it, into the numbers for this month and how I've been growing. So I am now at 1,200 total subscribers, which is an all-time high for this publication. I've never had this many subscribers, so it's been very, very cool to meet you all. So hello. And then I've hit also an all-time high of 46 paid subscribers. And so as you can see, the graph is going up slowly, even though it sometimes goes back down. And as I've talked about in past videos, the roller coaster ride of being on Substack and the ups and downs can be a little overwhelming. But it's been really fun. It's honestly been very, very fun over the last 8 months. It's almost a year. It's crazy. And I think that since we're coming up on a year-ish, still got a few more months, I think that the most surprising thing for me is just like how much I look forward to every newsletter, and it's been really fun to write. So in the last month, I have gained 7 paid subscribers. I have increased my revenue by almost $400. And then I've increased my total subscribers by 92 in the last 30 days. I've seen a 40 view increase. And then my open rate still is kind of like bopping up and down. And I've covered this in last videos too, when you have more subscribers, getting them all to open the emails is a lot. But overall, this has been a pretty big month in terms of the jump in paid subscribers. I feel like I'm kind of picking up a little bit of steam in terms of seeing my content kind of attract more paid subscribers. It's been super cool to see some subscribers opt into the annual plan versus just a monthly, because I know that they're in it for the long haul, and that's what I want out here, and that's what we all want as writers, wanting to see people being like, I love your work, I want to support your work, I'm excited to join you on this journey for the next year. It's pretty cool. So here's what worked. This was my top post on Substack for this last month in terms of gaining new paid subscribers. It's 10 tips to unlock your Substack's full potential. And as I said last month, the lists, they do pop off. They are something that people really love to see. And I got almost a $300 annualized revenue boost from this one post. And I think this is something that I've been seeing a lot of people talk about on Substack, specifically Substack Notes, which is their version of Twitter. This idea of writing about Substack on Substack and how it's kind of, I don't even want to say controversial, but it's the same thing when you see a lot of accounts on social media talk about how to grow on that social media platform. And so I'm trying to balance writing about Substack while also writing about travel, working remotely, how to be a writer in the world, my past freelancing business and current freelancing business and how it's evolved. And then also how I'm stepping into being more of a self-published author and fiction author. I'm working on a detective series right now, which took up most of my week last week. And so trying to figure out how to balance all of those topics and also talking about Substack, which I recognize that a lot of you follow me here on YouTube and have found my publication through this YouTube channel because you're curious about how to grow your own Substack. And so I'm trying to kind of balance all of those topics because I don't want to just be a Substack publication. I don't want to be just talking about how to grow on Substack, but I also recognize that this is what you guys want to know and you guys want to kind of see how I'm doing it. And so that is the kind of balancing act I'm doing of knowing that the posts that are doing the best are about how to grow on Substack, but I also want to make sure that the people who are following me and subscribe to my channel and subscribe to my Substack care about more than just that, or at least are interested in hearing about, for example, I'm going to South Korea, and I will definitely be writing about all of the things that I'm so excited about in South Korea. I'm taking a K-pop dance class. I'm going to be doing one of those color matching things. I'm going to be going to like a Korean head spa. Like, I'm doing all this crazy stuff that I'm hoping that my readers will find interesting. And so I'm going to be writing about my travels. I'm going to be writing about what it's like to write, short fiction and short stories. I had a post about that this week. And so I'm curious to see how my subscribers will ebb and flow with the integration of topics about growing on Substack, while also including all the other things that I want people to find my publication for. So this is the thing that I'm thinking about the most when it comes to integrating these topics with topics that I want to make sure that my readers are here for also, and not just the growth posts. So more things about what worked. I am hitting on my most read topic, growing on Substack, and making sure that people who are here for that feel satisfied, but not having that be just the main topic. I want it to be a content pillar, not all of my content. Posting on Substack notes, that is what I've been doing, and I've been getting more traction from there. People have been finding me from Substack notes. Consistency every month. I think the most important thing that is helping me grow and helping me connect with more readers and connect with more of you is being consistent, both on showing up here on YouTube, showing up on my Substack, and just being there every week. And I think that is the biggest thing, and also the thing that I think that a lot of people aren't. If they're struggling with Substack, if they're struggling with growing, usually it's because they're not consistent. So when I'm working with my consulting clients, because I've started working with people over the last few months who have hired me to do ghostwriting, editing, and consulting with them, or some combination of those services. And the thing that I'm always trying to warn is that don't start your Substack if you aren't going to be able to stay consistent on a weekly basis. If you are able to show up like once a month, then maybe wait until you have at least some posts batched and do your best to hit that weekly consistency. Because even though you theoretically can grow with just a once a month publication, I think that the weekly publications, I get to know those writers the most in my inbox when I see them show up weekly. If I'm not seeing them show up weekly, I kind of forget about them, or I feel like I'm not as familiar with them when they do show up in my inbox, and I'm less likely to read. So I think that that's really important. So here is what I want to do differently. Similar to last month, I still want to do more video-based post teasers. I've been kind of dragging my feet on short form video lately because, like I said, I'm writing some short stories. Those have been taking priority. And so I'm trying to kind of figure out like how to allocate my time with the freelance work that I'm doing for my clients, with the consulting work that I do on helping people grow on Substack, and also with my own creative work, which I'm putting more in the forefront this year. So this has kind of hit the back burner a little bit, but I would still love to do more of these. And then more list posts. People love lists. I see this everywhere. People love lists. And so I want to continue to do more list posts because clearly people love it. And then having more of a clear topic stack so people know what to expect, and to make sure that my readers are not just showing up on my Substack to learn about growing on Substack. And if you're here just to learn that, that's okay too. You can still subscribe. And I hope you find other things interesting too. But also I want to do more posting on Substack notes, and I also want to share some more of my short fiction on Substack here and there and add it into the content pillars. Because even though I am a bit of an educator and I like sharing my experiments, what's working and what's not in terms of Substack and social media and being a working writer, ultimately I want to make sure that that my readers are also fans of the fiction that I'm writing or think it's interesting in some way. And I think that would be nice to have readers that kind of like overlap on the umbrella of all of the content that I have, rather than they're just here to learn about how to grow on Substack and nothing else. And so I'm trying to kind of figure out how to have a more holistic niche. And if people want to just learn about growing on Substack, they can come check out this video series. They can just go to my Substack for that. But ideally, I'm looking for subscribers that have kind of like a little bit of a constellation of overlap with me. They like thrillers and detective fiction. They love reading about travel and and stories kind of set in like these exotic places, and they also like reading my travel blog, and then also like reading about growing on Substack. Is it a tall order? We'll find out. And then I also, not on here, I did not include this on my presentation, but I launched my subscribers chat, and then I also launched a free Substack audit for paid subscribers. So if you have a Substack and you want me to audit it, I would be happy to do so. You just have to sign up to be a paid subscriber and then fill out my type form on my publication, and I will go and make a little video about your Substack and give you some tips for free if you're a paid subscriber. So for the price of a paid subscription, you can even just do a month or even a free trial and see how you like it. So if you go and subscribe from the Desk of Amy Studo, link in the bio, you'll find great jokes, you'll find freedom and travel tips, inspiration, and also a free Substack audit if you want me to take a look at your Substack and give you some personalized tips. But before we finish up, I have some Q&A, and so I wanted to kind of like hop into some of these questions, and I think that these are some really good questions, and so why I brought a few up to highlight them. So Ian asked, is your blog still a thing? Is it connected to your Substack, or is it separate on WordPress or something? So yes, I have a separate website from my Substack. It is amystudo.com. And I've been running that blog since I was like 12. So yeah, I'm still running it. And on my blog, I have more of like the working remotely, travel guides, things posted that are really long that wouldn't fit in somebody's inbox. And they're kind of more evergreen posts of like travel content, things that are more kind of like tip-based. Like I have a guide on how to fit everything into your carry-on suitcase. And so I have all of that currently on my blog, and then I link to those blog posts in my Substack, and then my blog also links back to my Substack. So I have some good keyword mojo and backlinks with that. So that's kind of how I separate it. I write a lot every week, if you can't tell. I'm also doing book reviews on my blog, amystudo.com. And so I'm kind of, because I'm ranked really well on my blog, I want to maintain that. And I want it to be, like I said, more evergreen. And then I want my Substack to have like what I'm thinking about, kind of more seasonal posts and things just for my subscribers that I want to give them special perks with, and I want to get to know them better, hence the subscriber chat. And so the Substack is kind of like my community, and then my blog is like all of my evergreen content. But I know that there's sometimes a little bit of overlap with that. But I'm also trying to kind of make my Substack like a little bit more like narrative based, and like travel stories and like little snippets, and then also eventually some more short fiction. And then Bluff Bottom Bloomin said, I just bought your book. It's arriving next week. One of my questions around writing on Substack is, do you think topics other than business, politics, writing, entrepreneurship will be successful on Substack? So yes, I do think so. And I think you can go on Substack's website and see the success stories of other Substack writers. A big one that I remember reading recently is this recipe blogger who I think makes like, $1 million a year or very close to that from just posting recipes. And so I think if you've published like an intro to gardening book, and you're interested in that, you should absolutely do that. I think another good example of somebody doing really well with gardening is the Gangster Gardener, who has a class on Masterclass, and I think he built his following on social media. And so I think that like Substack is great for all sorts of publications, and people are hungry for topics other than just writing, literature, entrepreneurship. So I think that people are, like for example, Magnus Carlsen, the chess master, I think he just started his Substack. Some big chess master just launched their Substack. So while a lot of writers and journalists naturally came to the platform, because a platform for writers is going to attract a lot of like writing forward people, I've been hired by some people to help ghostwrite their Substacks for a number of different kind of niches and topics that are beyond just writing, entrepreneurship, business, politics. So I think that those topics will always be popular, but the niche Substacks probably will do the best, because you're going to have information that is niche to you and to an interest where people are going to want to go down the rabbit hole and and they don't want to just get whatever is the top Google search results. They want to go to an expert who can really teach them, or who really wants to like learn like a craft or a skill or a hobby. So yeah, I would say you should definitely start a Substack. There's no harm in it. So that's really all for my update. You can go down below and make sure to claim your free Substack audit before March 18th, I think it is, because I'll be closing them at that point. And then, yeah, feel free to subscribe, and also drop me a comment to let me know how you're doing, and feel free to like and subscribe to help the algorithm. But yeah, excited to see you guys next month.